Hello, good evening. Immediate action is required to ensure older people are not left behind as lockdown measures are eased in Wales. The Older People's Commissioner says the pandemic has shone a light on long-standing inequalities and discrimination. We'll be hearing from the Commissioner shortly, but first our reporter Hamish Alskery has been speaking to 94-year-old Megan Rowland from Cardiff, who has found lockdown lonely and isolating and doesn't expect things to change anytime soon.
Megan is almost completely blind, and yet she's lived alone ever since her husband died nearly 40 years ago. She used to have visitors, and although her daughter Elizabeth still drops off food and medication, lockdown in March put a stop to everything else.
I do miss company a lot. You know, when you go now, I'll see for Elizabeth for half an hour this evening and I won't see anyone at all then. No one.
Megan and I met over a year ago through an older people's befriending charity called Independent Age, and we speak regularly on the phone. But lockdown has limited her social contact to almost nothing, and that's taken its toll.
By the time it takes me to feel my way around the place, the afternoon's here, then it's the evening, and then it's time to go back to bed. And that's how it's the same every day. Nobody nowadays can take me out, so I haven't been out.
It sounds quite lonely.
It is. It is lonely. But I don't think about it. Well, I can't, otherwise I'd go potty. You know, I can't see to read. I can't see to write. I can use the telephone. Thank God. And that's about it, really.
Places like this are popping up all around Wales. They're somewhere that many of us are getting a chance to socialise again after months of lockdown. This place is just on Megan's doorstep, but because of coronavirus, it's not practical for her to come here.
Hello and welcome to this month's edition of the South Wales Talking magazine.
Volunteers at this Talking magazine in Cardiff have been a friend to isolated people for more than 49 years. Operating out of this shared office with other charities, they record a local newspaper as an audio file and send it to blind and partially sighted people. Cruelly, lockdown forced their studio to close, just when their members needed them most.
They say hearing these publications, it's like friends coming to visit. We recognise the familiar voices. We feel that we're part of a family. I think it's always been a problem, isolation, with all types of vulnerable people, people who are on their own. But this lockdown, of course, has worsened the situation much more.
Megan says loneliness has made lockdown harder to cope with even than the Second World War she lived through as a teenager. Her experience, like many others in Wales, a stark reminder of yet another consequence of this pandemic. Hamish Alskery, ITV News, Cardiff.